I'm doing a training coming up soon on Chrome, and so I thought it might be appropriate to make a video to talk a little bit about the difference between Google and Chrome and how you can add or remove apps and extensions from your Chrome account. So one thing that you need to remember is that if you log into a computer and you log into your Google Drive, so I'll show you what that looks like on drive.google.com. You log into just your drive, all you're logged into is your drive. So if you actually want to log into your Chrome account, which I highly suggest you do, that's how you get to use your cool bookmarks and that's how you can associate apps and things with your account, you need to make sure you do that on your particular desktop. The way to do it is similar no matter if you're using the Mac OS or if you are using the Windows OS. You go up into your settings here, and rather than seeing all your extensions at the top, you will see a option for signing into Chrome. And once you've signed into Chrome, that will associate your entire browser experience with your Google account, which is really nice. So once you're in Chrome, you don't need to sign into Google. So you can see that I am signed into Chrome right now, and I can tell I have a name up here that says, hey, this is the account Steph. I have multiple accounts added in with my Chrome so that I can switch accounts. If you go into your settings, you can see a few of these things. I'm going to go in to show you. So right now I am signed in as my Gmail address. And I can always disconnect this if I want to, and I can change my sync settings. So right now I have everything syncing every time I log into Chrome, no matter what device I log into Chrome to. So if you're logging in on a Chromebook, you're actually logging into Chrome, not logging into Google when you sign in. You'll also notice that down a little bit lower, I have a couple of people that I can sign in as. I can sign in as my Steph account, or I can sign in as my school account. How you can tell which account you're signed in on is by looking up at the top. Right now I see that I'm signed in on my Steph account, and I can switch my person if I want, and I can also go incognito if I just want to do some other browsing without anything being remembered. I'm going to show you what it would look like to be in the other account. I'm going to swoop over to my other desktop, and you can see that I have school up on this one, and again, I can do the same things if I want to. I like to work in both accounts, so I have both of them open. You can see my bookmarks are very, very different on this account, and it's because I'm in Chrome and not just in another Google login. Now, once you're in Chrome, you can do some great things like add apps and extensions. So the easiest way to do this is to go to the Chrome Web Store, and you can do that through their apps button they add, and it will always show up on the left-hand side. A caution when you do this is that it will open up your apps in the tab you're in at the moment, like a bookmark typically works. Note to Google, I would like this to open up in a new tab. That's the side note. So I'm going to click on that because I'm done with my settings. What this does is it opens up all of my apps. I have a lot of apps associated with this account, and I can go between them. You can see the little bars at the bottom. The very first app that they give you, no matter what, is the Web Store app. So I'm going to click on that and go to the Web Store. The Chrome Web Store is like Google Play or like the iTunes Store. It's where you can get apps and add them to your account. The Web Store is very easy to use. You can search the Web Store by searching for keywords. You can use some of their filters in there. So maybe I just want to look at Chrome apps. Maybe I want to look at websites, since as we know from our smartphones, a lot of apps are merely portals to a particular web page. I can also sort by various categories. Sometimes I like to look at the education tools because I'm a teacher. However, you might need something else for your particular needs. You can also choose to look for, well, which are the ones that run offline, which are the ones that are specifically by Google, which are the ones that are free. And this is interesting because most of them are free for the basic version. Some require some payments if you want to upgrade to Pro, like most applications. And then you can also search by rating if you want to see which are the ones people like. So once you find one that you want to add to your account, I'm going to just find one to show you. I'm going to search for photo editor. Alright, so it gives me some options for photo editors. Here I see the Polar photo editor. If you click on that, it gives you some information about it. It usually gives you some images that you can scroll through. It usually gives you a few reviews if you want to see what people have to say. Shows you some support that you can get, and it shows you some similar things that you might want to look at. Usually it shows you things from that same developer or things that will do similar tasks. So when you find an app and you want to add it to your Chrome account, all you need to do is click the blue Add to Chrome button. Then usually it tells you what permissions it needs and you can add it to that account. It'll pop up in your launcher, which will give you that warning that it's going away, but you don't need to really worry about that. What you'll notice is that if you go back to your apps and you go into your apps, you can find the app that was added. There it is. It's at the end because I added it last, and there's my Polar editor. When I want to use it, I just go into my apps the same way and click on it, and it's going to open it up. Polar is an editor that works offline as well, so you can see that it opened it up in a new window for me, and then you use it like you would any other app. So I'm going to close that out. I'm going to go back to my apps for a minute because I want to show you how you can remove them. So you can see I have loads of apps and maybe I don't want to have some. Maybe Asana. I decided I don't want Asana anymore. Sorry Asana, I'll add you back in a minute. If you right click on your app, you can open it in various ways. It gives you a couple of options. You can also remove it from Chrome. So if I want to remove it from Chrome, it takes it away and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So that was how you can add and remove apps, but you also might want to use extensions. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can add and remove extensions. It's a little bit different from apps. So extensions are things that work in whatever tab that you're in at the moment. So here is a Google Mail checker, and that gives me an extension that no matter what tab I'm in, it'll tell me whether or not I have mail in my Gmail account. And so that might be useful to me, and I'm going to go ahead and add it to my Chrome account. Yes, can add my extension there. So now you'll notice that that shows up somewhere else. It shows up in my upper right hand corner. I can see I have a couple of other extensions installed, and those show up in your upper right corner as well. What these do though is they make your Omnibox a little bit smaller, so if you don't want to see them all the time, you do have a couple of options. If you right click on any of your extensions up there, you can remove from Chrome, so that's how you can delete it if you want. You can also hide it, and so that means that you have to go into your settings to access it. That's what I usually do for things that I don't use a lot. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to hide it. So when I go into my settings, I can see, oh, there it is. So if I want to use that extension or see that extension, I can find it in there rather than making my Omnibox smaller. Another way that you can work with extensions is if you are in this settings option, you can go down to more tools and manage your extensions there. So what you can do here for any of your extensions is you can enable or disable them. So maybe I don't want to totally remove it from Chrome, I just want to disable it for a little while to give me some more application memory. You can also choose to allow it to work incognito. Sometimes extensions don't work incognito because they're dealing with an account that's associated with you, and if you are using incognito, you usually don't want to be associated with a particular account. And sometimes it also has some other permissions that you can work on. If you totally do not want an extension anymore, here I have a disabled one, I can just click on the trash can and that will allow me to remove it. Usually they give you, the developer gives you something that says, hey, why are you doing this? Alright, so that's how you can add and remove apps and extensions to your Chrome account. Remember that to access these, you can use the apps button that they'll always show you, and that will take you to this particular URL, Chrome/apps, if you want to do it that way too. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions about apps and extensions, they are very extensive, sorry. Be sure to add a comment and I can add in some extra videos or just reply to your comment.